सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् हरि ओम कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Yes, can someone recollect anything that we saw last? Yes, please. Anybody? Yes,
I'll go ahead.
most welcome. Yes.
Yeah. So we saw that hatred towards lower troubles is not required to overcome them. So it's only indifference is sufficient to realize those and overcome those. And we saw an incident of where Dr. Nirodbaran expresses losing temper at work, for which he gets a response from Sri Aurobindo. Losing temper is wrong and it is considered as a mistake. So one should use the inner force in such cases. So through practice, this yogic power helps in using the inner force and also call upon the mother's force in these cases. That's what we saw. And strength is there for those who seek, is basically what we understood from that. And uh, Dr. Nirodbaran expresses that Karma Yoga through literature seems less challenging compared to other fields. So Sri Aurobindo replies that the path of that was also having its own challenges. So other works with other kinds of challenges gives an opportunity for the inner change. So one must try to take advantage of it and transform. And the rule of Karma Yoga is one must be ready to do any work for the divine. So that is what we saw. And inner knowledge versus outer knowledge. So inner knowledge creates the ground for being able to receive the outer knowledge. And Sri Aurobindo says that the experiences in Alipur jail opened his capacity to understand about painting. Um, and then we saw sadhaks with various experiences leaving the ashram, where they shared a couple of letters on that. So what we saw that if the Shraddha element is weak, this can happen despite of all the experiences that they've acquired on the path. And one may have always something that is in conflict with the yoga. So just because someone has taken that path and has seen failure, it doesn't mean that nobody has to take that path. So that is how we can progress is one of the important things that we saw. And another experience where he felt some kind of stillness. So that was the last question we saw.
Yes,
But,
absolutely. Ji. Yes, Chitraji, thank you for bringing us up to date on what this is in correspondence of, with Sri Aurobindo. So, one thing interesting is little actions or outer work, inner work, this divide we need not have. Means when work is being done, karma becomes our madhyam. And as Sri Aurobindo said, in Alipur jail, through an experience in jail, he had an opening to understand poetry, this art better, painting better. Means which teacher or art teacher came or who came to teach him in Alipur jail? No, then Vidya is there. Vidya is always there for a person who is willing to receive. The person should be open. And so, in Mother has also said, in sadhana, we all have some expectations, isn't it? We walk in a particular path. So it's like in games you have no level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, you advance and progress. So like that in sadhana also we have this unknowing to us, we create an expectation. We create that expectation and we feel we have to go on this particular way. But that attachment also is something which has to be surrendered to the divine. Who knows? Certainly divine wants, he'll take me from level 1 to level 100, no? Directly. And then Ankar comes in from level 100, he may throw me back to level 1 or even level 0 suddenly. It is the divine's imperative on my progress. I cannot decide how my spiritual progress should be. Maybe there are ways. Yogis have described there are paths of ascension, but we cannot impose. We cannot have this. Now I'm like this. Many people ask, Evan Damliji, how is my sadhana going? Is it going ahead? Is it going backwards? Namleji says simple ways, Vyaktitva ka vikas is your personality blossoming. Are you becoming free? Are you becoming free from, you know, this kind of what we can say the shortcomings which in life you're feeling more sorrowful? Are you having thoughts which are pulling you down? If these are all coming in, that is an indication that you are still open to lower influences. You're not yet ready to enter into what is the higher realm. So you'll have to move ahead. So if your personality is blossoming, you're learning more, you're recognizing, getting knowledge, receiving, that means you are progressing. It is as simple as that. So that is what Shervindo tried to point out to Dr. Nirodbaran, because he felt, no, what is the use? Poetry and the other works, outer work in carpentry, what am I going to learn? Logically, anybody will say, no, what will a doctor learn by doing carpentry? What is the use? But no, you understand, you go deeper. Anybody has tried to do some profession which is completely opposite or against their profession? Or not against, no profession is against anything, but something different from your usual activity. Librarian trying to play kabaddi suddenly. That's a completely different perspective, isn't it? Something like that. Anyone has experienced something? Have you done something anytime which goes against your own preference or swabhava? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Please
I,
tell me.
I was a kabaddi player when
Okay.
I was as a child, and I was a very good librarian in the ashram. As a
Oh,
volunteer, I
oh,
was
what an
working
example.
as a librarian
Okay.
only.
Oh, I just gave the most least possible example that could have come to mind, and it is already manifested that yes, it is possible. Manisha ji is proving it to us. Yes. So, how was your experience, ji? I think in the library, probably the first times when you would have first time gone in, or
Yeah,
you.
I love reading books. So and
Achha, that,
I was in the children's section main library. So I
okay.
used to enjoy reading all children's book, and
Achha,
it is where I got this Sri Aurobindo, and this is written by Nirodbaran. And
okay, okay.
originally, of course, in Bengali, but it has an English version also.
Right, right.
So
But this transition happened afterwards, isn't it? But otherwise, when you were young, in that time also, you would go with library as well as kabaddi at same time?
yeah,
Mm.
I used to love reading books, of course,
Okay,
but I
that's
don't know. I
great.
never managed any library
Okay, no,
as a
no, no.
child.
I
So,
meant that is brilliant. That is actually this is a beautiful example of harmony of these two. One is a direct physical action, another is a mental intellectual action. Normally, we don't reconcile these opposites. No, Gita is also about reconciliation only, isn't it? Opposites, material and spiritual. Arjuna says, Yat kim karmani ghore mam. You are talking about Adhyatma, High Vidya. And it's so nice. Let us all sit, meditate. We'll all have a good time. Why should we engage in our daily karmic responsibilities? This kind of question would come. Yes,
um,
Manishani wants to say
and sir,
something.
about my career and professional journey also, I
Hmm.
did my ISC intermediate in science, pure science. Thereafter, I did my BCom and cost accountancy. Post that, I joined a hotel industry, worked there for 2 years, and then I joined banking industry. So I have been adapting to different fields and all the changes, and
Okay.
across cities, Kolkata, Bombay, and Bangalore. So,
So
and now in Pondicherry. So, I've been
learning.
adjusting and learning things, new things, which was not pertaining to what I had been studying in my college or
Okay.
institute.
This is very interesting to know, Ji. Thank you for sharing that. It is absolutely something which is very important. So we must be open to what the divine wants us to do. And that is what Sri Aurobindo wanted Nirodharan to understand. That was one of the reasons. So slowly, like if somebody who has not worked any time with plants, start doing a little bit of gardening. It's okay, one pot only. Go, interact with that plant. Look at the soil, look at the quality of soil, look at the moisture inside, all of that. So let us continue anyway without delay. But again, once again, kudos to Manisha ji. Wonderful. I think that's a great inspiration for many of us. Let us continue. So Nirodharan says, a letter from C. Is it possible for him to come here without being cured? Arvindo? No. can't decipher C. The doctor has prescribed a treatment and he can't afford it. Is that it? Or what else? Nirodban, forgive me if I quarrel with you today. You have hinted that I am a coward. Sri Aurobindo, there is a coward in every human being. Precisely the part in him which insists on safety. For that is certainly not a brave attitude. I admit, however, that I would like safety myself if I could have it. Perhaps that is why I have always managed instead to live dangerously and follow the dangerous path, dragging so many poor Nirods in my train. So, so this is interesting that means there's a part of us which is more, used to safety, that is actually cowardice many times because of attachments. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose my position. I don't want to lose my stand. Or I don't like this subject. Personally, I didn't like chemistry because I found it difficult. I was sure I will not do well. So I was trying to escape from it. But fate had something else. So I had to do in correspondence after 8, 9 years of completing engineering. So that's a different story. But this aspect of trying to unnecessarily have this safety. There's only one insurance for us, isn't it? What is that insurance? Yoga Kshemam Vaham Yaham. That is the divine. He is going to. We don't have to look at terms and conditions, what returns we are going to get from subscribing to this policy, who is the agent, what percentage commission agent is going to get for giving this divine insurance. No, it is divine who is going to be our guide, divine who is going to take care of us. That means we should have zero attachment, zero expectation. Stop worrying about safety. That is why they say Adhyatma is for the brave. Adhyatma is not for the weak-hearted. Only those who are brave can understand the real meaning of surrender. Not only can they understand it, they can live it. They perform the act of surrender. They say Virancha Pranta in Marathi. Means this belongs to the domain of the Viras, the strong-hearted ones. Look at Sanatan Dharma's heroes and heroines. So many of them we had, isn't it? So many. Where did they get? If you see, we say no, but that time was not different compared to now. We are a little bit more advanced, isn't it? A little more progress in certain ways. That time the society was not that much evolved, definitely by Kala only. This is the Kala Chakra. In certain aspects, we have maybe devolved, as some people say. But if you see the challenges which they had, they were no lesser than what challenges we are having today. We may have a different type of challenges. But those who took that, those who took the step, who decided, no, I will not yield, they were the brave ones. So Sri Aurobindo is saying he also admits that he would like that safety, but if he can have it, saying he does not have it, and that is why he has managed to live dangerously, follow dangerous path, dragging so many poor Nirods in his train. Nirodban, Nirodban, I am stunned to see you mention yoga and other human activities in the same breath. Is it not Sri Krishna who has said that out of thousands, very few seek him, and still fewer get him? Anybody recollects this shloka? Yes. So I'm stunned. Sri Aurobindo, how are you saying in the same breath? You are talking about yoga and you are talking about human activities. Yoga is something higher, it's different. And hasn't Krishna only told in the Gita? Anybody remembers the shloka or the context? I think Rajiv ji is saying something. Please unmute, sir. I'm not able to.
Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam.
Yes, yoga karmasu kaushalam. But there are so many people Krishna says walking on the path. Among so many, maybe there are sahasra. Among them, very few hear, and then very few who hear the call of the divine actually follow the call of the divine and reach to that destination.
Bahunam Janma Namante Gyanman Mam Prapadyate. Is
Yes,
that the one?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ah,
Absolutely.
correct.
Yes, sir. The mother also said, rare is the one who hears the call, rarer is the one who heeds to it. So this is what he's asking. Is it not Sri Krishna who has said this? Sri Aurobindo says, there are lots who try for a government post and only a few get them. Is it the same principle everywhere? Sri Aurobindo is asking him. Nirodbaran, let me tell you how a born yogi felt and feels about yoga. He says often to us that on many occasions he has felt like running away, never mind to which hell. What then about us, born Biyogis? So he's calling himself a Biyogi, which is opposite of Yog. In Bengali, Va is also mentioned as Ba. So Biyogi, the one who is not had in the state of Yog. Sri Aurobindo replies, I was not aware that there are born yogis and unborn yogis. All have their vital and mental difficulties, whether born or unborn. Well, everybody is human, isn't it? The human beings will have two eyes, 2 ears, they'll have the mind, all of these emotions. Each has a challenge, isn't it? Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was having easy time? No. How crazy it was. Why Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj only? His guru also, isn't it? Ramdas Swami, Samartha Ramdas Swami, Shubhamangala, Savadhan, that was going to happen. He got Savadhan and he ran out of the mandapa immediately. He is going to go on a different path. When he was very young, he was going to be made to marry. So this, everybody has challenges, and there's nobody who is not born with any such. Means then there is nothing called unborn yogi. Let us continue. Nirodbaran, you have called around you, or rather, we have come to you, a jumble of assorted elements. I call no one, says your thundering voice. But don't you really call even from within for yoga? For yoga, which seems to me a great gamble, like that of Monte Carlo. So he says, see, you have really got assorted elements around you. You know what I'm saying. And did you not feel like calling from inside? And even if you may not have called, we have come to you. And this yoga seems like a gamble. Sri Aurobindo. Nirodbaran Sri Aurobindo replies, whom have I called? If they were not, they would not be representative of the world which has to be changed. If they were not assorted elements, then they are not a sample. No? I think in engineering we have this sampling. We draw samples which are representative of the population. And Sri Aurobindo's yoga is not a yoga of withdrawal. It is about yoga of transformation. Transformation of what? Transformation of nature only, ultimately. Human nature has to transform to become divine. Excuse me. So what happens when there is undivine nature? Who suffers? Humans only suffer, isn't it? So that has to change. Someday, maybe our dear ones who are not transformed should become transformed and they'll become free. So the yoga is about bringing about reconciliation, bringing about transformation. That's a challenge. So Sherman says, of course, for that transformation only I have brought. I mean, for the transformation only so many people. He says, I have not called though, but there will be assorted elements because they are coming from the entire population. Nirodbaran continues. He's having today a very rough day, or he's taking it out on Sri Aurobindo only. He says, and this gambling fight is more against forces unseen than seen. We eat hostile forces, breathe them, feed them, exchange them, do everything except see and trample them. Swarming microorganisms is angry at these hostile forces. We have heard about the play of forces in the Gita, haven't we? Yes? Anybody? Yes, something. Forces which make people do stupid things. They are at play, isn't it?
Yeah, Guna.
Okay, gunas and what we can say, Raja, Tama, Sattva, they are all continuously playing because of sometimes excess rajas, kama, krodha, kamesha, krodhesha, rajoguna samudbhava. In one moment, the sattvic yogi, because of sudden influx of a hostile force. So then here he's complaining, and this is actually what we can say anguish of a mortal only, no, of human beings. No, we all have that, no. Suddenly, why did I get ahankar? Bhagwan, I'm praying to you. Can you not keep that force away? This question comes to so many. Ajit, please unmute, sir. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, sir.
प्रकृतेः क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढात्मा कर्ताहम् इति मन्यते. So it is only the forces that are at play all the time, and it is the ego which thinks that you are the one who is doing it.
Ego is the one which creates separation. Ego is the one which creates all the misunderstandings. Ego is all of this everywhere. Beautiful relationships where very nice, long-lasting relationships can exist. They get spoiled in a moment of ego, moment of frustration, moment of some rajasic impulse. That is why the Devi Swabhav, Asuri Swabhav, it's like very dynamic. If you watch, you can go into a meeting also and understand, okay, forces are there. Real, what we can say, yogi, no? How is that yogi? The yogi is able to understand कि चलो यहाँ से रजस आ रहा है, रजस को साइड में रख लेना. Work with the sattva. That sattva side has to be pushed up. That sattva will then balance this force. Means that is gunati, the state which Krishna is asking. You're not na dveshti na kankshit. Not hating also, you're able to understand. But right now, probably Nirodbaran is frustrated. He says, see, we breathe them, we eat hostile force. Sometimes, people are told, like the guru tells, this time is not good, be alert. Shishya becomes alert. And still, in spite of being alert, what happens? Sudden moment comes where this person is now taken for a ride. This person came and spoke like this, so I told like that. But no, Guru had told, be remaining calm. But why? Because it was a force. So, and sometimes, despite being sincere, the forces operate. So then we get frustrated. That is exactly Nirodpar's question right now. Okay, what is this? We are eating hostile forces, we are breathing them, we are also feeding them, making them stronger. We are exchanging them between people. We are doing everything except being able to see them. We're not able to spot them. These swarming microorganisms. Sri Aurobindo replies, so is all life on earth, a complex of seen and unseen forces, and an obscure and ignorant struggle. It is true, isn't it? No matter how realized we are, we say or we think we are, ultimately, what is the divine's grand plan? Are we fully cognizant? No, we don't know. We try, we aspire. I want to understand. That is why yogis always aspire for Satya Dharmaya Drishtayet. Let me see what is that truth. I want to see it. Why does a yogi want to see who's already reached some kind of state of vairagya he has attained? This is a verse, is a shlok from the Upanishad, the Mandukya, this Isha Upanishad. Satya Dharmaya Drishta is the last part there. Let me see. Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukham tattvam pushanam apavruno Satya Dharmaya Drishta. The truth is covered by a golden lid. Gold appears brilliant because it glitters, but sometimes gold is also not true. What is there? That higher truth is hidden. Let me see. That is the aspiration. But this is life's struggle. We have to call upon the divine. With the divine's grace, means with Krishna and Arjuna, then there is victory. No, if Arjuna says, Krishna, you go. I have my bow and arrow. I'll go on my own. Nothing's going to happen. They have to be together. That aspect is important. Nirodbaran, he says, these forces drag us down from today's ecstasy to tomorrow's valley of depression and next day's abyss of doom. In Barin Babu's world, gods and goddesses are seething. In ours, hostile forces. So he says, he says Barin Babu is referring to his Sri Aurobindo's brother. I'm not sure, but Which is this Barin Babu? Anybody has any? Manisha ji, do you know about this reference?
Yes, he is Sri Aurobindo's brother.
So,
Bharat Babu is Sri Aurobindo's brother.
yeah, so the reference, gods and goddesses are seething. They're angry or something. I'm not able to understand this reference. But in ours, he says there are hostile forces. Means at least their devas are there. But here in my world, in our world of Nirodbaran, he says there are only hostile forces, not the devas. I'm only seeing oppositions. Many times we feel that, no? You think I'm going to sit and meditate quietly for 10 minutes. Nobody is going to disturb. I'm going to keep my phone in airplane mode. If I get a work call also, I don't need to attend it. I cannot. I will not respond to anything. And correctly, some relative, some close family member comes and breaks us from trance before we can enter it only. The hostile forces are there around us all the time. Sri Aurobindo replies. He says, after all, there are plenty of people here who are going pretty well. Why emphasize only the comparatively few who have fallen out or are in serious trouble? This could be somebody else actually. I think Parin Babu could be a reference to someone else also. It appears from the response.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not sure. He's not the brother.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that. Yes, yes. Somebody else. After all, there are plenty of people here who are going pretty well. Why emphasize only the comparatively few who have fallen out or are in serious trouble? Each has his difficulties, no doubt. But how on earth do you expect so high a path to be without them? Means without challenges, how can we progress? No? These challenges are what they are going to make us. Means remove the challenges. Where is your growth going to be there? Like the story of the botanist trying to cut the pupa for helping the butterfly come out. It's a nice story. The botanist, young botanist who has not studied much about botany, just theory, he watches in practical for the first time. He watches that moment of transformation as a butterfly is just coming out of the pupa. He sees that struggle. He sees that, butterfly just breathing and trying to break free. He says, oh, so much trouble is there. Let me help. Let me help. And he goes and tears that pupa. And he's very satisfied with wonderful work he has done by helping that butterfly because he has now become great in helping. What has happened because of that? The butterfly's wings don't have the strength because it is that struggle which gives the strength to the butterfly's wings. So that butterfly's life cycle is now continuously crippled because that struggle was eliminated. Sometimes we feel in life, why have I been given this task? Why am I suffering so much? Why this struggle for me? Just think of it as a challenge, as a training, because God gives struggles to people. He has strength. He knows they have an inner strength. They will rise beyond it. That is why those points come. Sri Aurobindo is saying something similar. He says, each has his own difficulties, no doubt. But how on earth do you expect so high a path to be without them? These great yogis also, they didn't have it easy. Ramleji's father was very strict to him. Ramleji's guru's father was very strict to his guru also. Nana Maharaj Taranekar, his Nana Maharaj's father was so strict that he would make him get up very early in the morning and chant the Ved mantras. One day he did not get, he pushed him hard and his head hit the wall, and still that mark was there, it seems. Means whatever situations each of these divine creates for what purpose? For us to grow, to become strong. Let us continue. Nirodbaran, to add to all of this, you hardly take an initiative and ask people to do this or that. Your principle is to give a long rope, either to hang oneself or have a taste of the bitter cup. He's really angry with Sri Aurobindo. He says, you're not taking any initiative only. You're saying, do this, do that. You're giving a long rope. What will we do with this long rope? We have to hang ourselves or we have to take a bitter cup. Sri Aurobindo replies. But just look at this, no? Guru Shishya Samvad. in 1935, huh? Can you imagine what modern guru and modern shishya relation? It's even today's date, we find it very, here also, today's day also, sometimes people, no, no, we cannot have this dialogue and all. That fear is there. But here, reverence is there, but this also, questioning. If you see, go back to Arjuna and Krishna, that time also Krishna was being questioned by Arjuna, no? So in the sincerity, it's all right. It's all right. To question is fine. Sanatan Dharma's principle is that only. So Sri Aurobindo replies to this accusation. He says, I am to put everybody into leading strings and walk about with them. Or should it be the rope in their nose? Superman cannot be made like that. The long rope is needed. What can, it will be like programmed, no? Like bulls being driven or something like that. Because he wants to create a new race, which is the race of the Superman. There is a higher state of consciousness, which is called a supramental consciousness. That is the reason which Sri Aurobindo and the mother dedicated so many years of their life. Easily, if they wanted, they could have become like Devas only, amassed a huge following. That was their level. Sri Aurobindo himself was already a very big political figure. He was revered. The judge only as I had asked, is he a kind of Maharaja with the reception which he had received and all. When he came to India, so many followers. Young Subhash Chandra Bose was also inspired by the fiery words. Lokmanya Tilak, everywhere he had got it. But he took this plunge into spirituality, doing what somebody would call obscure, somebody would say a suicidal step in politics. What is the meaning of all of this? Suddenly withdrawing, going to a fishing hamlet called Pondicherry where nothing is there, just engaging in sadhana for so many years. Why? Because it was a foundation. Today also our new education policy, which is now everybody must be aware, I think. Education policy changed a few years back. In the new education policy, Sri Aurobindo's principles of education have been introduced in. That is what the Home Minister had come on the inauguration or something, one event here in Pondicherry. That time he talked that every page is having a reference, something where they have drawn inspiration. Yet there will be another 50 years, maybe 50 years, maybe it may take for Sri Aurobindo to be understood. We are now in 2024. 1935 words we are reading. Still, the teachings of Sri Aurobindo have not yet been fully imbibed or understood, because slowly, it is a long rope, because slow transformation has to take place. That is the nature of evolution process. Yes, let us continue. Manisha ji has given the names of everybody. Yes, ji. The brothers and the sister of Sri Aurobindo. Let's continue. Nirodbaran, when I went on reading and reading in the godown, you said nothing till the blow came. Sri Aurobindo, reading in the godown does not end tragically as a rule. Something happened in the godown. He had some accident. He says, you did not do anything until that moment. He says, there's no rule that you must have that. So it was something he was not conscious. Nirodbaran, he says, DS is doing the same. Yet it can't be denied that he originally came to do yoga. In spite of it, he is caught in the intricate net of the blessed forces and gives up the greater pursuit for the lesser. This is very, very true. Forces come and they confuse. Big people also, good people also, nice people also. That's why we are told sattva also is limited, isn't it? In the three gunas, tamas is already very bad, hopeless. Most worst case scenario is tamas. Rajas is somewhere in the middle. Sattva is in the top, but sattva also has its limitation. A lot many sadhaks also get trapped. They get trapped in their own illusions. And they become, what we can say, puppets of forces. When the ahankar comes in, that is why ahankar should not be there. I know, I've seen Guru giving a sadhana and a shishya saying, I'm busy to do the sadhana. The same Shishya who owes his life to that Guru, who was saved from a difficult situation, but that same Shishya says, With what face? Normally, that same Shishya would never, in a right mind, ever say such a statement, isn't it? But it was the moment, it was the force. That is why in life, moments come, you have to grab those moments. Otherwise, the forces will wait and the forces will catch the moment and try to take it away from you. It will come rarely, but you have to be alert. Shavindra replies, it's not reading medical books that was the cause of DS's serious upset. It was the usual causes coupled with something else. But as all that is private, I can't go into it. Nirodbaran, I come for yoga with all sincerity, but end by being a fool in their hands. Isn't it tragic and pathetic? This side of the shield I request you to see. Sri Aurobindo, gracious heavens, you are really a poet. This is also one thing, no? Poetry also, people get attached to sorrows and write beautiful poems. Ghazals and all. Zindagi ne zindagi par gum diye. It was a favorite song which my friends would, after either failing in getting an arrear in their semester or breakup or something like that, then poetry would start flowing. So Nirodbaran's poetry, Sri Aurobindo is appreciating here. Nirodbaran, he says, so what is your point, you may ask? One shouldn't do yoga? Certainly. Only I am trying to establish my proposition that one is never sure in yoga, or only a few are. Sri Aurobindo, one is never sure in anything. It is absurd in this world to say, I will only do what is sure and absolutely safe, especially in anything great. So if you want to do anything great, you must be ready to take that risk, come out of that bubble of safety. Otherwise, what happens? I have my own fears. I don't want to overcome them. I want to live in my safety's bubble. What will happen? Then you will not be able to walk on the path of the heroes. You will not be able to do good things, great things. Leap has to be taken, isn't it? When you have to take a leap, it's called leap of faith, no? What is that leap of faith? You don't know, no, what is on the other side when you're taking the leap. But that you have to be ready. And that has to be done from the inside, not by a whim. Nirodbaran, your caustic satire about railways is, with all apology, a little off the point. Firstly, I have dared yoga. Acha, this is in reference to that statement by Sri Aurobindo where he said, no, that is why I have always managed to live dangerously and follow the dangerous path, dragging so many poor Nirods in my train. So that that letter he is referring right now, saying that your caustic satire is off the point. Firstly, I have dared yoga. I have taken that daring step. You cannot say that. Sri Aurobindo, he says, why not go on daring instead of wailing because there is no safety? Say, "Acha, you have dared, then continue daring. So what? There are thorns on my path. So what? You have decided to walk on the path, no? So whether there are thorns or whether there are roses, will it make a difference? You have taken the first step by daring. Continue is what Sri Aurobindo is saying. Nirodbaran, he says, in railways, etc., the journeys are safe. Hostile forces are not so villainous. But even after Herculean efforts, the path of yoga is not a jot easier. At least in trains there is safety. But these in sadhana, these hostile forces, these villainous hostile forces are too much. I'm taking so much efforts. Herculean efforts are being taken. But look at it, huh? Sri Aurobindo, Nirodbaran has taken big effort, isn't it? He's left his career. The FRCS doctor becomes carpenter in Pondicherry after completing in foreign at that particular time. In that age, no, he means what a big illustrious. He had taken that surrender, but he's saying even after that, I'm not feeling the path is not looking even 1% easier. Sri Aurobindo said, you ought to read the Martin. Every now and then, a tremendous collision and holocaust. I admit that in India, railway is slow and scanty, and therefore more though not quite safe. Anyway, what about aeroplanes? Shervindo asks. I say you're worrying about safety of railways. Then what about aeroplanes? They are more dangerous. Sure.
I think when Sri Aurobindo said, right, that you must not be getting in trains and aeroplanes. So from there on, Nirodbaran got a bit triggered.
Yeah.
This is all
Yes.
a conversation from. So this is from there that.
That could also be the reference.
And railways, okay. So he said that no, I can get on railways because it is easier there.
Acha.
Then Sri Aurobindo is saying that okay, then what about aeroplanes? So.
Yes. This was before this conversation that was which you have perfectly put out.
From there on, Nirodbaran has got a bit angry.
Right. But you see how they had to wait for letters, and now we have got so used to threads, no? We remember the message, first message, response to this. It is all available in technology. But they used to wait sincerely, these sadhaks. Nirodbar, he says, Ramakrishna had a word of hope for his disciples and used to say, Manisha ji, you can read out what is there in Bengali?
Yes. এখানে যারা এসছে সবার হবে এখানে যারা এসেছে কমা সবার হবে whoever has come here there'll be some transformation realization.
So Ramakrishna had given this word of assurance like Yogakshemam Bhamyam of Krishna, no? He had said this, all those who have come here will realize. Means those who have come, taken refuge. So he said, at least Ramakrishna has given that. You don't or won't give any, not even a quarter. You might say it is a greater truth. But we have greater divines as well. So he says, see, Sri Aurobindo, even Ramakrishna, Sri Aurobindo used to respect him so much. Ramakrishna used to give this word. But you are not even giving that. Why? Even a quarter, you're not giving the slightest of assurance about you will get realization. This just goes to show how each person is different. It does not have to be the same template by everybody, isn't it? Even the mother had once said, Sri Aurobindo may be a gentleman, I am not. Sri Aurobindo is engaged since with all these long dialogues. Maybe mother was a little stricter. And that's what means for me also. Reading Sri Aurobindo's words, I feel okay, fine. But mother's words, when I read, I feel I'll get scoldings quickly. I'm a little nervous because everybody's way is different. So he's asked a very straight question. Let us see what Sri Aurobindo replies. He says, he had a few disciples around him. Here, there is a crowd of 150. So his assurance was not a very big sporting flutter. But what is that Bengali word, Manisha ji? One more word has come in Bengali.
হবে
Hobe.
হবে
What did hobe mean?
होगा हिंदी में होगा.
Yes. Nirodbaran, he says, for this greater truth, if some fall out, what matters? The wheel of Jagannath must roll on, and divine has no tears for them. He is beyond dualities. So Jagannath, there's a note about Jagannath. Jagannath, Lord of the world, one of the forms of Vishnu. In Puri, the sacred city, his huge chariot is pulled each year by people who have assembled in large numbers on a special festival day. Some devotees get themselves killed under the wheels in the belief that they will get immediate liberation. This was 1935. So Nirodbaran says, what wheel of Jagannath must roll, and divine has no tears for them. For he is beyond dualities. Divine is in that highest state of consciousness. What about people? I mean, Nirodbaran is now thinking only about himself. And he's asking in context of himself, all problems. He's having problem with Everything, even the wheel of Jagannath, the railway example, everything. And especially Sri Aurobindo not giving him assurance. He wants somehow to get something from Sri Aurobindo, saying that nothing will, I will get. Sri Aurobindo replies, he says, even if I fall out myself, I will not weep. I will try again. These are the words of a great yogi. And he's saying there is no assurance for him also, because that is the challenge he says he has taken. The great step of means to understand Sri Aurobindo's yoga, it's going to take a very long time. Even if any of us try to understand, it requires intense sadhana, because great yogic discipline. And that time he was attempting, that's what his words, no? He's saying, I'm attempting something. I'm attempting something in the occult realm, trying to manifest what was in the occult into the material, making vyakta, what is avyakta, something he was calling, and that was called supramental realization. Even that time, he didn't say to his shishyas that I'm going to get it. He says, it is a challenge, it is an experiment, it is something I'm trying. If you want to join in these efforts, you like it, you want to be a part of it, you are welcome. Join hands. That's all he's saying. But he beautifully sharing this is, even if I fall out myself, I will not weep. I will try again. This is the attitude, isn't it, of the master? I think we should also have that. Why weep? No, weeping does not help anything. No, nothing. You have to get up again. You have little energy, use that energy. Hundreds will fall, thousands will rise again. I may fail, you may fail too, but we will not fail. Meaning that mission is there, no? That spirit with which we're trying to manifest. What are we all doing in life also? We're trying to realize something, no? We do not know fully yet. We are reading Bhagavad Gita. We all have careers, we all have jobs, we all have personal lives. We're all doing that also, isn't it? We're not leaving anything. Otherwise, it's very attractive and nice to live and enter into a particular, like even I remember one editor I had met, one Maji, she is no more, but I told I want your help. Let us edit. She says, yes, I would like to edit your book. But I think it would be ideal if both of us we go to a hill station, we sit together, we discuss for hours. I would like to ask you these questions. I was feeling so happy. And then she just said, but I don't think I or you can afford that. So I'm refusing to edit your book. And she walked away, leaving me all red-faced. But that was true, isn't it? Each of us, we are doing something for realizing why are we afraid of failure? Because of being afraid of failure, if we don't attempt, that would be the biggest failure of all, no? If we don't take the steps, we're all born for a purpose, and that purpose is realization. Realization of what? Divine. Divine where? In our life, not in another world. यहाँ पे सब्सक्रिप्शन नहीं है चैनल का भगवान का तो we will not get in this birth, we will get in another birth. It's not like that. In this birth, we are going to seek. That is what yoga is about. That is what this transformation is. And when the master himself says, he says there's no guarantee for himself. At that time, he said, even if I fall out myself, I will not weep. I will try again. There's no need, no, for the guru to speak like this to the Shishya. Shishya is not going to understand high principle. He may have understandings but particularness, humility, all the great qualities are visible, and he says, yes, I will not weep, I will try again. Probably that is something which we never should forget. Let us hold on to those ideals that we strive for. It's all right. One moment of failure cannot decide my entire life, isn't it? That is the thing. Sri Aurobindo, Nirodbaran, he says, it is very problematic, however. How many will reach your heaven alive? How many will reach your heaven alive? Like Yudhishthir. Sri Aurobindo replies, and his dog? You have forgotten the dog? Because according to Mahabharata, Yudhishthira, the eldest of the four brothers, was the only person to reach heaven alive in the mortal body. He was accompanied by a dog, which he had found on the way. It is said that the gatekeeper of heaven would not allow the dog to enter, but King Yudhishthira himself refused to enter without his dog, since being a king, it was his duty to protect all those who asked for protection. Thus the dog entered heaven. Then the dog resumed his true form. He was none other than Dharmaraj, the Lord of Law. That's the story. So, Sri Aurobindo says, Nirodbaran asks a question. I am afraid most of us will have the fate of the Pandavas. What is the fate of the Pandavas? The four brothers of Yudhishthira were called the Pandavas, the sons of Pandu. I think their stories, they did not go ahead, no, all the way. So he says, I'm afraid most of us will have the fate of the Pandavas unless the divine is prepared to carry us all himself, barring the ladies. Sri Aurobindo asks, what the deuce has sex to do here? Don't be too medical. So here, why is he making a distinction? In Adhyatmik Marga, the spirit, can we say there's a jati for the spirit? Is there gender for the spirit or the Atman? No, it is not there. But mental, no, mind, these calculations come. So people divide because that's what Nirodbaran was doing. Sri Aurobindo did not approve, so he used what the deuce. What the deuce is probably the ancient or more euphemistic way of modern day when we say what the hell, something like that. Let us go on. Nirodbaran explains, because medical science says that their physiological apparatus is more suitable for psychological attitude of self-abnegation, which is also the essential desideratum for yoga. The doctor has spoken. He says that their physiological apparatus is more suitable for psychological attitude. I mean, he's saying the women are more suitable for walking on the spiritual path. Self-abnegation, they have this tendency of sacrifice. Well, that's in a point one way because I have seen so many, they are doing so many sacrifices. But that is again a myopic view, isn't it? Is it gender? Gender has nothing to do with the advancement on the spiritual path. Sri Aurobindo's reply, that's the only thing for which their psychological apparatus works? Question mark. I fear there are other things both in male and female which are not essential desiderata for yoga. So he's saying no. I think in both male and female it is the same. He goes on. Apart from all sense of humor, I have never said that yoga or that this yoga is safe and easy path. What I say is that anyone who has the will to go through can go through. It's beautiful actually. It's not about the safety, it is about the sincerity and the what we can say determination. The will. Most of the time this will is doused, no? Lower forces extinguish that fire. When that fire is extinguished, then there is no progress, there's no movement. So anybody, he says, who has the will to go through can go through. For the rest, if you aim high, there is always the danger of a steep fall if you misconduct your aeroplane. But the danger is for those who allow themselves to entertain a double being, aiming high but also indulging their lower outlook and hankerings. So this is the danger, meaning you are walking, you are a Trishanku actually, neither on this path nor on that path. You are walking on the spiritual path and still having material desires, material attraction, material attachments, material expectations. Expectations also can be spiritual expectations also, whatever expectations. A person is walking on a path of Vairagya, which is meaning you are going to be free from attachments, free from expectation, but walking on that path which is supposed to be where you are supposed to be free from expectation and still holding on to, then it is dangerous, he's saying. What else can you expect when people do that? You must become single-minded. Then the difficulties of the mind and vital will be overcome. This is not true. Single-minded. Eka devo bhava. Have a firm determination. This is important on the path of yoga. Otherwise, there is only wavering. Many times we have double mind, no? One mind is listening, one mind is reading something, another mind is going elsewhere. Most of the time for me in school, geography class, what is for lunch break? Whatever is going on is being told on the board is different. The second mind is going elsewhere. When there is such deviation, nothing good can happen. The mind has to become firm. Ekanishtha is important. So here, Sri Aurobindo goes on, he says, you must become single-minded, then the difficulties of the mind and the vital will be overcome. Otherwise, those who oscillate like a pendulum, those who oscillate between their heights and their abysses will always be in danger till they have become single-minded. That applies to the advanced as well as to the beginner. Again, Bhagavad Gita, there is a shloka which talks about yoga rudha. Anybody recollects that shloka? The one who has progressed and gone ahead on the path. It is the karma of sacrifice, yajna, that is done, that is allowed a person to go ahead and reach the highest path. And that is the treatments for the same. Yes, sir. Rajiv ji wants to share something. Yes, sir. The shloka.
आरुरुक्षवर मुनेर्योगं कर्म कारणमुच्यते योगारूढस्य तस्यैव शम कारणमुच्यते.
Yes.
That is one thing, and another thing is actually vyavasaya atmika buddhi. Ekeha kuru nandana. Bhavushaka hanantasya buddhayo vyavasayana.
Absolutely, sir.
That is what you were talking about.
Yes. So the karma which a person does in a state of detachment, that will only allow a beginner to go ahead. And it is because of this only, this self-control, no? This self-control is the reason a person has become an advanced yogi. So the same principle is applicable for both. Any field, basics change because a person has become an expert? No, isn't it? Basics will remain the same, and a beginner who is very firm on the fundamentals, a beginner who is very strong in the basics, who has understood that well, can even challenge a master. So the basics have to be firm, and this is the basic, is what Krishna is saying. Sri Aurobindo is saying you cannot oscillate. You cannot oscillate between your vital emotions and your, again, mind, and this oscillation should not happen. You should become single-minded. These are facts of nature, he says. I can't pretend for anybody's comfort that they are otherwise. But there is the fact also that nobody need keep himself in this danger. One-mindedness, ekanishtha, same word, ekanishtha, surrender to the divine, faith, true love for the divine, complete sincerity in the will, spiritual humility, real, not formal. See, this is also important, isn't it? I am so humble. I have a humble question. Forgive me, Nirodbaran is asking, no? But it is a formal humility. So it is something which is important. Again, I'm not commenting on Dr. Nirodbaran's humility being formal or informal, but many times we don't mean what we speak. Real humility is there when we are expressing it. Sometimes it doesn't have to be expressed with words. It can be understood by actions also, by the bhava also, by your presence, by your movement, by everything can be conveyed. So here Krishna, Sri Aurobindo says, one-mindedness, ekanishtha, surrender to the divine, faith, shraddha should be there, true love for the divine. Sri Aurobindo is not saying true love for one's beloved or one's partner. So does he mean everybody should leave their partners and go? If boyfriend and girlfriend are there, immediate breakup. Husband, wife, immediate breakup. No husband, wife. We are both now sannyasis, yoginis. We will not have any life. Is that what Sri Aurobindo is talking about? What is this true love to the divine? Anybody? True love for the divine. Meaning keeping the divine above your personal relationships also. Why? Then the divine can elevate you to the higher consciousness. It's like you're getting a chance to see something little bit more than what you are. If you have myopia, without glasses, without glasses, I can't see what is too far away. I need the glasses, then I will be able to see. It is something like that. And to get the broader picture, to understand your own relationship better, to understand yourself better, you have to love the divine. That is what Sri Aurobindo is talking about. Complete sincerity in the will, spiritual humility, real, not formal. There are so many things that can be a safeguard against any chance of eventual downfall. So you see, each of these are weapons which Sri Aurobindo has given. These itself can become a shield. These can become a safeguard. For Prahlad, what was it? It was all of this only, no? Ekanishtha was there. No matter what was going on, no matter how much hardships he felt, sincerity protected him all the time. Fire could not burn him. That was his sincerity. Surrender to the divine. Means this is something we should surrender completely to the divine. This surrendering to the divine does not make us weak for the world. A lot of people, because I surrendered to the divine, now I am a universal punching bag. Anybody come punch me and go. That is not surrendering to the divine. When you surrender to the divine, you are ready for the divine force to function through you. If the divine force tells you get one punch, then you get the punch. But if the divine force tells you give two punches, give two, not three. But you should be ready for that. Whatever, that is surrender, not having personal choices, personal preferences. Slips, stumbles, difficulties, upsettings, everyone has. One can't be assured against these things. But if one has the safeguards, they are transitory. Help the nature to learn and are followed by better progress. This is beautiful. Means when you have these safeguards, Sri Aurobindo gave so many. Best of the best people will have super kavach, digbandha, we say, no? Like that. All of these, sincerity, shraddha, surrender to the divine, all of this, true love, divine love, all these things will be like a continuous kavach protecting the person. What is digbandha actually? In the Tantra, they follow it, no? When a person does an invocation, when a yajna is being done, or some Jajwalya mantra is being said, what is the Digbandha? Digbandha is creating a kavach for no outer forces to enter inside. Like that, if we have it, if we are sincere, we will get hints from the divine. You'll just suddenly become alert. Ah, divine told me get ready now. Suddenly I remembered something. Okay, this was not my thought. It came from somewhere. It means it could be a hint. Let me be alert. Let me be vigilant. Now no force can disturb me. All right, I almost slipped. What happens? When do we slip? When we are not fully, when our concentration is elsewhere, isn't it? Can yogis slip is my question. Yes, because this is nature, no? Nature is like that. The forces are like that. But when you are alert, when you are on a path of sadhana, these slips also become a means for your transformation. They become a means for you to rise. They are transitory. They help the nature to learn. And what happens after the slip? Maybe a hurt. Hurt will happen. When anybody slips and falls, it is a hurt, no? But what happens after that? Better progress takes place. That is what Sri Aurobindo has said. We look at three more questions. If it is okay, can we look at three more questions? Yes? All right then. Nirodbaran says, I hope you have understood the psychology behind all my wailings. My headache and fear are that you allow the other forces to take away some of the poor Nirods from your train, being wary of the fight, perhaps. So he's saying you don't want to waste your energy in fighting with these forces. So you allow these forces to take some Nirods who become casualty, is what he is saying. Sri Aurobindo, he replies, excuse me, I don't allow. The poor Nirods allow, or they take themselves away in a huff. They only get angry. So many people, they've got angry and left. No, 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 I don't see spirituality here. And many, I know some of them, they have walked out of the spiritual path and then regretted, I made a mistake. Now this birth, I cannot correct it. They are only declaring, not even trying to reconcile. They're feeling guilty about leaving the place, guilty about walking away, but not wanting to correct it. What is this? This is again lower nature only, no? So Shivananda says, no, I am not allowing. Of course, he is conscious. So I think we also must not allow lower forces to work in us. If we have the kavach, if we have the sincerity, we have the shraddha, we are ready to take a few punches if we have from nature, it's all right. You're ready to stand up, brace them, then we don't need to worry. All will make us stronger only. Nirodbaran, he says, but I sincerely pray that you will drag this really poor Nirod in your train till his last breath. Sri Aurobindo, what else am I doing but dragging towards that? Nirodbaran, he says, you call me a poet without poems, a briefless barrister. Again, he started. Nirodbaran replies, sorry, Sri Aurobindo replies, it was the Ushwas, outburst of emotion, that extorted that exclamation from me. Last question, we look at this and we stop here. Yes. What is the double meaning? So, what is a double being or double nature? Are both the same? Is it, as you say, aiming high and aiming low simultaneously? In that case, I'm afraid most of us have it, more or less. Almost all sadhaks I have met are having it. What is this double being? What is its meaning? Sri Aurobindo replies, every man has a double nature, except those who are born asuras, not unborn, in brackets this is born asuras, rakshasas, pishachas. Pishach is again a different type of asura only. These are different levels. Every man has a double nature, except those who are born asuras, rakshasas, pishachas. And even they have a psychic being concealed somewhere by virtue of their latent humanity. Meaning even inside of the Pishacha kind of people who are born in absolute, we have seen in the Gita, isn't it? Devi Swabhava, Asuri Swabhava. Some have that Asuri Swabhava. In children also sometimes it's visible. Wanting to go and injure. A boy trying to stab his own mother. That was a case very recently, and it was very crazy how such a small boy, how is he getting that nature? That was not taught to him in the society or anything. It was inside of him, inborn. But he did everybody, even those persons have a latent humanity. But a double being, in bracket, or double nature in the special sense, refers to those who have two sharply contrasted parts of their being without as yet such a linking control over them. So this is that double being, meaning there's no control. We've heard nowadays there are disorders which become very commonly used. Everybody likes to get that label, bipolar. I mean, one friend of mine, he introduced me, this guy is bipolar. And but I don't know anything. I had saved his name as bipolar because I didn't know anything. And then I got calls from him. He had one day written nice poem. Then he's written, I want to see you writhing like a bleeding snake. And I was like, hey, Bhagwan, what's going on today? I get this message. But later on, I found out he established a control. And he had a greater reserve of poetry. Means I was very surprised. Was very surprised. Though this poetry had a little darker themes But as a friend, as a bro, I really enjoyed him. But unfortunately, that the control, he lost it soon. And then he went on the other path, and then I didn't. We don't now anymore. I'm not in touch with him at all. It's been so many years. But that control is important. That control is not there. Means Swabhava people may have, but double nature meaning the person has no control. Raat gayi, baat gayi. Why did you tell me yesterday like this? Yesterday is over. No. Today is new. I am a new person this morning. Evening again, new person. That is something a problem. A double being refers to those who have two sharply contrasted parts of their being, without as yet such a linking control over them. Sometimes they are all for the heights, and then they are quite all right. Sometimes all for the abysses, and then they care nothing for the heights, even sneer or rail at them and give full rein to the lower man. Or they substitute for the heights a smoky volcano summit in the abyss. These are extreme examples, but others, while they do not go so far, yet are now one thing, now just the opposite. I think we must have also come across some trends or even sometimes our own mood fluctuations, isn't it? Doctors also, they say immediately mood fluctuation, do this testing. For me, I got vitamin B12 is less. They said you are going through depression. I was like, no, you're having mood swings. I was like, no, I was actually feeling sorry, doctor. No, I don't have. But that happens because of this is what they told. Meaning people have these fluctuations also. It doesn't go to the worst case, but yogi should not have these fluctuations. That's what Sri Aurobindo has been telling, that we should not have that. We should have that oneness, ekanishtha, no oscillation between the height and the abyss. If they can convert the lower fellow or discover the central being in themselves, then a true harmonious whole can be created. Means this is beautiful. If you can convert that lower force, lower fellow is being told, meaning in our own nature, you're going to do something, what happens? Kharab hone wala hai. One voice will tell you, isn't it? I don't know everybody, but for me, it was there, always doubting. Self-doubts were the biggest enemies. Now they have become best friends because they're already ready, making me ready for worst case scenario, and I'm going ahead. At least that was the one way I got a reconciliation. Like that, we should find out our way of reconciliation. Each can have their own path. Sri Aurobindo talks about two paths in this reference. One, he talks about first identify that lower fellow and convert it, or discover the central being in themselves. Means there's a central Chaitya Purush, psychic being, inner being inside of you is that divinity. Find that hero. Forget it. It's all right. Means there's one way is convert what is negative into positive, or make your positive so strong that the negative disappears. That is also another way. It's up to the individual. Many times people see patrikas also, and this is what this. No, this graha is bad. This graha is bad. The person says, what, my patrika is only bad. Or is graha really bad? I have done nothing wrong to the graha and graha is being bad on me. So I don't believe in these grahas or all grahas are bad. It is not like that. Instead, find out what is good. What is good. So the central being inside of us is there. Each of us has it. You can relate to that. If you're not able to convert lower forces into positive, use that is what Sri Aurobindo says. Then a true harmonious whole can be created. In brackets, for a case of a double being who had no central organizing part in him, you can take R as an example. We stop here. So Krishna says, example of R means good case of this person who didn't have connection of the central being. Then what did he do? He probably converted the lower being inside, and he converted that. So with this, I think we stop. If anybody has any queries, you are welcome. If anybody yes, wishes to. Otherwise, if no queries are there, you can, if someone can summarize, that would be wonderful. Anything that we saw today. With that, we conclude with Shanti Mantra. Yes, please. Yes, anybody?
For sadhana. Hello, are you able to hear me? I'm not able to hear you.
Yes.
Sorry, I am muted. Yes,
Okay.
please continue.
Yeah. So for not going into the abysses during sadhana, we must have sincerity, faith, humility for continuing. And if we can connect to the central being somehow, then we can have a harmonious inner being, not affected by elevations and depressions. That's all.
Yes, so this is one point which Dr. Bhavana just shared. Yes, for sadhana. And this is for everybody, isn't it? Not for just the beginner or the advanced. It is the same thing, same principle always. Yes, any other point anybody wishes? Then we conclude with a Shanti Mantra. Anybody?
I also saw that, the forces, and there's nothing like playing safe or something. So there's always uncertainties in this path, and one has to sort of, playing safe kind of nature, even in unnecessary circumstances, is something like the presence of coward nature is something that we saw. And basically, more questions today were towards somewhere Dr. Nirodbaran being affected by the other sadhaks who had achieved a lot of progress, leaving, and his own difficulties in sadhana made him ask quite a lot of direct questions. And where feels that the forces are always trying to derail him and playing with the emotions, because basically one day he feels very happy and the next day he's in depression and all those things. So one point strongly Sri Aurobindo says that the path of yoga, he never said that it's safe and easy. So it is only for those who are willing to go through that path. So irrespective of the advancement of each sadhak, so one has to become single-minded and not fluctuate. Is what we saw, and that led to what Bhavna ma'am told.
Yeah.
So
Yes, thank you, Chitraji. And one more aspect which Nirodbaran talked about. Maybe he tried to sound gentlemanly by saying that for he was saying males it is difficult and female it is easier to experience. That was 1935. 2025, male, female, cis, trans, so many other new genders have come. So which gender is having greater? If the question was to be asked, who has a better chance? Anybody? Which gender has a chance?
All have equal chance.
All have equal chances. Gender is not something which is a discriminating factor on Adhyatma, on Adhyatmic progress, on the path of sadhana. That was something which is clearly mentioned. There is no, what we can say, it is just, this is the outer aspect. We are all part of Prakriti, isn't it? Prakriti is divine feminine. So everybody is part of divine feminine. There's one Purusha, which is divine, supreme Purusha. So, all right. And Dr. Bhavana wants to add something?
I wanted to add that as is your Shraddha, that way only you will go, your life will go. Not because what gender you are, but what Shraddha you are.
Yes, yes.
What is the nature of your faith? Your life will go that way.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I had what we can say, one elder bhaiya who became my didi, which was very difficult to understand initially for me. But later on, I understood that this person was a transgender person born from childhood, but because of society, because of constraints, was not able to, had to suppress it. But after growing outside, went abroad, and there that person, it was actually a physical aspect. But how much suffering that person had to go through. But advanced, now that person is a very advanced scientist with with Nobel laureates, and is doing work which is benefiting mankind. Karma is ultimately matters, isn't it? It doesn't matter which kind of the karma is leading to betterment. So this aspect that is probably a division, bheda, which is also making. Some are poor Nirods and some are not so poor Nirods. Some are Sri Aurobindo said it's a will, no? Dr. Bhanaji talked about Shraddha. So that's another good point. Rajiv wants to add something. You are most welcome, sir. Then we conclude with the Shanti Mantra.
Actually, see, I have talks on the message of the Sri Aurobindo, and this entire discussion actually comes to that sloka that you referred to, Arurukshir Yogam. So I'll just read out two passages which he has written.
Most welcome,
very
sir.
relevant to this entire discussion.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It will be lovely.
Works are the cause, but of what is the question? The cause of self-perfection, of liberation, of nirvana in the Brahman. For by doing works with a steady practice of inner renunciation, this perfection, this liberation, this conquest of the desire mind and the ego self and the lower nature are easily accomplished. But when one has got to the top of the hill which he calls yoga, then works are no longer the cause. The calm of self-mastery and self-possession gained by works become the cause. Again, the cause of what? Of fixity in the self, in the Brahma consciousness, and of the perfect equality in which the divine works of the liberated man are done. So this, I think, is most of the points are pointers in this direction.
Absolutely.
And this is what it is. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. We are very privileged, actually. We get references from the Gita as well as now share those words also. Thank you, sir. It was a beautiful one. So
thank you. I enjoyed the discussion as well.
you, sir.
Thank you very much. Jai
Thank
Shri
you.
Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Let us conclude with the Shanti Mantra.
Yes.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kashchid dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum Punarmilamaha. Looking forward to the next week. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yes.
Hari Om.